Can the CFMOTO 450MT actually handle enduro terrain? Today I'm putting it to the test. Logs, roots, rocks, faster grass sections and tighter trails. And by the end of this video, we'll see if it earns the Enduro stamp.
So, a pile of stacked logs. This will be a good way to test the ground clearance and the control of the bike. So let's see how smooth we can get over this. Okay, so here we have typical Swedish pine forest. A narrow trail, trees pretty close to the trail. So let's see how the bike feels in this kind of terrain. Since it's a bit wider and more heavy than a normal enduro bike. But I think we will be fine, so let's try. Logs. I hate logs, but they are quite common on enduro tracks. So let's try and see how the 450MT managed to get over this one and another one down the trail. Whew. So next up is a few turns with a good support, a really good berm that you can push the bike against. And if you get it right, you can maintain a lot of the speed and even gain some speed out of the turn. Grass fields. So here you can go quite fast, but it's a bit slippery because it's still a bit wet on the ground, and my rear tire isn't that good anymore. It's about to get replaced soon, so I need to take it a bit easy on the turns. Okay, let's see how the 450MT behaves on grass fields. this kind of terrain is not something that I like. I think it's really hard to ride on an adventure bike. It was kind of hard to go fast on this kind of terrain on an enduro bike for me. It's roots, larger rocks and smaller rocks that are stuck in the ground, and some of them are loose, so it gets kind of slippery even if the ground is dry, and it feels like the bike is all over the place. So let's see if 450MT gets approved on this terrain as well.
So, can the CFMOTO 450MT actually handle enduro terrain? Yes, but with limits. This is not an enduro bike, but it's more capable than a lot of people think. To be fair, this bike is modified, and that does matter. But even with that said, the biggest surprise for me is how it almost feels like a mix of an adventure bike and an enduro bike. In the faster grass sections, the bike felt right at home. That is where it felt planted, fun, and easy to trust. But in the slower, more technical sections, especially over rocks and roots, the limits showed up much more clearly. That is where the weight starts to matter. And that is also where the bike feels wider up front and not as easy to move around as a real enduro bike. So yes, you can ride it like an enduro bike, but only up to a point. Once the terrain gets more extreme, line choice matters more, planning matters more, and you have a lot less room for mistakes. Still, that is also what makes this bike so interesting. It is not trying to be a pure enduro bike, but it can take you much further into this kind of terrain than many people would expect. And then, the moment you get back onto the gravel road, it feels like a fully capable ADV bike again. So no, it's not an enduro bike. But if you want one bike that can do a bit of both, the 450MT is honestly a lot of fun. And for that reason, I think it has earned the Advenduro stamp. And if you want to see me keep taking this bike into places where it probably doesn't belong, don't subscribe. Or do. That would help. Thanks a lot for watching, ride safe, and see you in the next one.